and welcome back to Trauma Teachers. Here we are, whole new year, new look, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we might be on YouTube right now if I can figure it out. So this is what we look like.
This is it.
Hope you're not disappointed if you've been listening audio style. But yeah, we got a little studio set up, so hopefully none of the kids walk in. It could be a little awkward.
It's gonna be a little weird.
Yeah, but eventually we'll be at one of our houses if this contagion
we can ever get over this moment.
Maybe 2022.
Yeah, we'll set up the studio.
yeah. So hopefully my fan doesn't fall because it's hanging right now, but we'll figure it out.
We'll get it together. I mean, no worries. We get quick hands and quick reflexes. We'll get there.
Yeah, we were talking about before we came on. We don't remember if we made any mistakes or not. So if we did, we apologize. We've been traveling all over the place. Now I think we're back.
Yeah, we're fine. We're totally here, so I think we're good. All right. Jumping right into it?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Struggle of the week. So you and I both witnessed this. We had two students who are both, I wouldn't say mild-mannered, but they're pretty respectful.
For the most part.
They've grown at least to be respectful, and they usually treat others pretty well, at least at school. Yeah. And we just saw a full-scale breakdown, screaming at each other, like, I mean, there's no other way to say it. Like, our kids were they were frothing at the mouth. Yeah. The pinnacle of it was the one student yelled at the other, "I hope you die," and then the other student yelled, "At least people will be at my funeral." And like, when you see something like that between two kids you really care about, not that I don't care about all the kids, but we're both pretty close to both these kids. Yeah, it's just so disturbing. Yeah, and like heart wrenching.
I was gonna use the same thing. I was gonna say it's gut wrenching to just kind of like stand back and just kind of watch it unfold, which we unfortunately had to do because it was just the circumstances of the way they are, and I'll kind of take a little bit of blame, probably all of the blame for that one. I wanted to get the two in the same room together to they had been going back and forth for weeks, and my idea was just to mediate the situation. You guys don't have to be friends, but we at least can get to the point where we respect one another and at least can be in the same room. And so the idea was just for them to just say things that they felt like they needed to say, and that quickly got way more escalated than my intention.
Yeah, and one of them was out. So we got one of them outside. Yeah. And one of them was inside. So they're screaming at each other through a pretty thick glass. Yeah. You could definitely hear everything. Yeah. And it was really stuff like that. It takes a couple hours. To get over, and then that's not good here.
No,
because you have other stuff.
Everything. Yeah. Plus all the other kids are hearing it. It was really exposing everyone else to all of it, and it was really tough because we haven't had a moment like that in a while. Right. I mean, knocking on wood, it's been relatively chill.
Yeah, with the kids, because the kids have been kind of separated by cottage, and they're not. Our kids have a really, really hard, which is something we've never talked about. Unbelievably, our kids have a really hard time with transitions. Yeah, even going from one class to the next, some of them it's like similar to ASD children. It's takes them a while to get acclimated to the room, and I mean just getting everyone to sit down,
stopping a preferred task, moving on to something that they
getting off the computer. Then I mean I have to every class. One class leaves, and we have 4 minutes, and I have to scramble around, grab all the computers, and lock them in my desk because if not, they're going to come in, get on it,
and starts that whole thing.
But that's been kind of eliminated with all this going on. So we've had, we were talking about before we came on, not the most productive couple of months. Yeah. But it has been relaxing because the kids have been pretty chill.
They've been really, really respectful, like you said, with one another and with us. So it's been relatively mild, mellow around campus.
Still rooting for some way to change classes eventually, but who knows?
That
could take. Yeah, because we're still the only school that I know of in the state that's in.
I'm gonna say the handful that are like us. I think there's a couple of folks that are at least doing some face-to-face stuff, but might be the only 6.
All right, Aaron. So what was your struggle?
My struggle, it's the classroom. As you just said, because of things the way that they are the kids they're with their cottages, so I can only imagine what it's like to go. Your living situation, so these kids are basically 24/7 with each other. So they live with each other, they come to school and they see each other in school and in the class all day. So what that has kind of started to happen is you get, the small bickering back and forth, kind of like siblings. You share a room with your brother for so long or your sister for so long, and next thing you know, you guys are just the toothpaste is the biggest thing. It starts World War III. So just kind of that's kind of started to develop in each one of the rooms a couple of times. They're just kind of gotten under the skin. We 2 weeks ago we had a fight, physical fist fight between a couple of the kids, and I say they were like siblings because like 5 minutes later they're both in the same room, and it's like it never happened.
Yeah, and it's funny you say it because today we had 2 kids arguing about whether one of the kids' brothers could beat up the other kid.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, this is it. I was like almost slam my house. I was like, and I like said to the kid, I was like, you're arguing whether your brother could beat that kid up.
Right.
Like, what is going on?
It's a full-on discussion, and it turns into a full-on, heated debate.
Yeah.
That's just like yesterday. That's why it reminded me because we had 2 from your group who were outside. One of them wanted to go to the playground and suggested going to the playground. The other one was like, no, I don't want to go to the playground. And that turned into the remaining part of the day. They argued back and forth, and one of them couldn't be in the classroom the rest of the day because they simply couldn't come to agree on where they were going to go outside,
right.
Whether they were going to still play football and catch or go to the playground.
And I love both those kids so much. But together, it is like, and we talked about this a little bit last episode, but you're going to listen to it again. They every 5 seconds, water.
Yeah, bathroom.
The water's not cold anymore. Gotta get ice. Can I go to the bathroom? And then they start playing off each other. Like when one of them asks to go to the bathroom, then the other one will ask to go to the bathroom because he knows, like, so the other one can't go. Yeah. And it just goes on all day. It never stops. No. So it's been, and I've had them in my class the entire time. And then I was in their college before, so I've been with them for about the last 5 months all day.
Kudos to you.
Yeah.
When that's happening, I think luckily now, we've had the ability to like separate them because they're in one class all day. So like separate them in the fact that like one could, it's easy to be like, okay, well, Patrick, can you go? Right. We'll go take, Johnny for a walk, or we'll go play catch over here, and I'll be like, all right, well, I'll take Timmy over here. We'll go down to the gym. So it's been having that aspect has been really nice as far as when those instances have started to kind of happen.
And shout out to our intern, Mr. T.
Oh yeah, Mr. T has been doing his thing.
He's been awesome about. You can just tell, like, some people when they start working here they get it, other people don't.
Yeah,
like, he gets it.
He got it right away.
When they start bickering, he's just like, hey, do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to come? Yeah. He has that Magic the Gathering game they play. Like, do you want to play this with me? He'll play cards with them. And like you said, they don't even have to leave the room. Just separating them,
just proximity to one another, it sometimes can be enough. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I'm done complaining.
Yeah, off of the struggles.
But highlight. Yeah. I needed this so bad. So we had a student. We discussed her before on a Feel Good Story of the Week. While she was here, and this is the stuff when people say stuff about people they don't know that as I've worked here, I start to get so angry because like this girl came in, no friends, from the middle of nowhere. There's no one really that's into the stuff she's into,
right?
Which happens, right? But both her parents give up parental rights while she's here, and didn't have a good relationship with them anyways. And then she somehow overcame that, did her treatment, has an awesome therapist, got through all that. Discharged this morning.
Yep.
After I got her a sub from Subway tuna fish, which I almost threw up, them scooping it out of the tub, drives me insane. But anyways, so she left this morning, and her therapist sent an email out about how much she loved being here, didn't really want to leave, but in a healthy way, not like it was attached, and just how much she's grown. And she was like, "That's what we do here," and I was like, "Yes, that is what we do here."
It's a great reminder of that. Yeah.
And I need it seems it's funny, like we talk about this all the time. It seems like that stuff always happens here.
Yeah.
Like right when you need it, you get an email like that, and I'm like, oh, we helped somebody.
Yeah, you get one of those small victories that like boost you up.
Yeah, because we were talking about before you came on, like we're like containing the kids right now because they can't be around each other. It's summer, so we're not doing a lot of academics, and it's still rewarding, but it's not like it normally is.
Right, right. There are no, there's none of the off-campus stuff, no transitions. Yeah. Well, my highlight actually involved the same student, and it was surrounding her discharge and just all of the kind of everything that was surrounding. She was actually very excited and happy. She was in really good mood. I think some of what happened with her in that peer earlier might have been with some pent-up anxiety about leaving. Right. She was. I also saw her therapist today, and she was. She said that she was nervous about leaving, and she, when they were unpacking from one vehicle into the new vehicle, she was kind of just hesitant, trying to stick around and stay. But combined with all of that, she was just really excited, really happy, really good mood. Got a chance to sign her goodbye book, and left her my information, and it was just. My information is in my work.
Right. Email. Yes. Isn't it crazy what this job does to you? Like you always, I clarify everything now. Like sometimes my friends are like, "Shut up."
But yes, So it was really good to see her in a good space, and I provided her with some information that she didn't know, some things that some privileges and some rights that she might have access to later on. So it was really cool to watch her get excited about knowledge and having some of those things, and watching her look that stuff up. So
yeah, because I even forgot about that. She found out all kinds of stuff about her heritage, and some negative things about her family, and it just, she's 15, and just having that stuff, it was like every week.
There was just something new,
crazy stuff, like stuff that I've never dealt with in my life. Just once a week, here you go. This is some terrible information you're gonna have to navigate while you're already away from your family here. So
it was actually one of those times where like you said, it's the small things. It was being reminded of just how she was when she first got here, and then to know and to watch her journey while she and the time that she was here, and to it was nice being part of that, and reminding myself that it is why we do it. This is why we're here. Is for the small victories at the end of the road.
I'm sad. It usually only takes a couple of days, not because I don't still miss the kids, but because being here so crazy.
There's always a new student coming in.
Right, but I was like, when she said bye today, I was like, oh man,
that's tough.
I wish I was better at that. Dude. I don't know what to say.
It's a hard place to be. Yeah,
because you don't want to say reach out whenever you want, because you do want them to do that. You want them to do it when it's healthy. If they really need to talk to someone, and it's appropriate, the amount of time has passed, and it's they're not calling you every day, then great. But you don't want to be like, hey, lean on, So you want to have that.
How do you say all of that without saying
exactly?
All of that?
What we always say is the best is if they get in touch once and I'm doing well.
That's all I need to hear.
Right.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
But you don't want to say don't contact me. And you don't want to say you need me, call me every day. So you're trying to get that. It makes it so awkward. I'm always see you later, kid.
Keep in touch. Have a neat summer.
Maybe keep in touch if you don't want to. All right. So on to our resource of the week, and I'll let you start with this. We both watched this, so.
Oh yeah. So Last Chance U. Pretty sure. Hopefully, maybe not. You guys are familiar with the show that's on Netflix. It's a docu-series about junior college athletes, specifically football, and how it's their last stop potentially of moving, either going on to the next level in college or just in life. This season is moved to the city. The first couple of seasons were the first one was in Alabama in the country, and the second one was in Kansas.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that it takes place in the inner city in Oakland, which is very interesting. So there's in that aspect, there's also that it takes place in California because it's in Oakland. So that's different as far as what the kids are provided. So they're not provided dorms or anything like that. Right. So there's a different aspect of showing the kids and what they have to do to maintain being a student athlete, and it delves a lot into. There's a huge mental health issue to this episode or this season. Sorry.
It's also the first time the coach is in a narcissistic,
raving lunatic.
Yeah, right. And he's not using it as a stepping stone,
right, to something else or something. Yeah, he's not using the kids for his benefit, and that's all that matters.
Right, he's still a nut.
Yeah.
But all football coaches are, right? But it goes in, like you were saying, it goes into physical abuse, emotional abuse, parental abuse. Yeah. It goes into the stuff we deal with here, some of the sexual abuse, and these kids are trying to navigate that. It's a lot like our kids.
Yeah, and it's a great rate
because they're trying to navigate living situations, like you were saying, jobs, the mental health piece, and then also trying to get scholarships so they can get out and reach their dreams.
Yeah,
and it was cool too because they all have so much pride in Oakland.
Yeah,
they're all I'm gonna come back here, right? And that's not what. We saw in Kansas, wherever the hell they were.
They just wanted to get out.
Yeah, right. It's broken down tractors everywhere. That first season, I was like, well, but the coaches in the first 4 seasons, the show is still great.
Yeah,
the coaches were awful. They weren't role models. They weren't someone you'd want to look up to
or take care of your kid.
Yeah. And this coach is his wife. She's a family counselor or something. So he gets it.
Yeah.
Even after he yells at them, he usually brings them in the office and it's therapeutic in a way.
Right, and understand and explains his reasoning as to why he may have taken the approach or said the things that he might have said.
Correct, but I think it's such a great show because it's highly entertaining.
Right.
And goes into like you said, inner city life and all that other stuff. So it covers all the bases while at the same time being incredibly watchable.
And I think it would be the language, much like the last season, it's it's harsh.
Yeah.
But I think it would be, if you had the right group, it would be something really good to show to kids, because as they're or at least the demographic that we have here, because as I'm listening to the stories of the players, I'm like, oh, I know a kid like that.
Right.
I've heard that story before, so I think it would be inspiring for these kids to say, look at where this kid is. He's had or dealt with some of the same similar situations, but he's still trying to make it. You know, he hasn't quite made it yet, but he's still trying, and you know, it's nice to be relatable.
And that reminded me of the one kid, so abusive father, which almost, you know, the majority of our kids have some kind of abusive guardian, living in his car.
Yeah.
The majority of our kids have experienced something
some form of homelessness. Yeah.
And then he's still getting good grades.
Yep.
Playing college football. He's a leader on the team. Yep. He has a job. And I'm like, and he's driving like 4 hours because of the traffic.
Right.
Which you know about, I'm sure. I'm like, good God. It takes him like 2 hours to get 3 miles. So he's going 2 hours each way. I'm like, how is he doing this?
Right. It's a great show this season for resilience. Like, yes. All of the kids that they show and are interviewing are resilient young men, and I think it would be, like I said, a great example for the group that we say, and especially when we're trying to convince them to, like, they are resilient and that they can accomplish things.
Yeah, and like you're saying, if you show it to a group of young people, like, the language is like cussing,
right?
Like F you, like,
right.
You're a B word. It's not like a bunch of college kids sitting around like college kids do and talking about like girls, or
right.
It's not like sexual
right.
stuff or anything you would be worried about showing. At least I wouldn't be worried about showing our high school kids that,
right.
because the language is not.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if you're a high school kid, this is not your first go around with like hearing curse words. So I mean,
and if you're working at a place like this and trying to correct cussing,
good luck with that.
I know about maybe one person that's ever worked here that even tried. They were good at it, but like that was it. Like I don't even. All right, so I skipped it because I'm an idiot. Getting to know you.
Okay.
Do you want to start?
Yeah. As you can see, we are in the fancy new digs, the fancy new studio, and with the new equipment. And this comes with you and your new. You got a new phone. I know you got rid of the flip phone, which made me think, what has been your favorite gadget of all time?
I mean, you can't record the podcast and so I had to. I was like, for trying to teach us.
Had to upgrade.
To write it off once we incorporate. Right. So mine. You know, I'm so bad at all this stuff, and I hate all of it. I think social media is going to eventually cause the end of the world. I really believe that.
We're probably similar in that aspect.
So, but I used to
But still, watch this on YouTube.
Yes, YouTube,
Instagram,
Facebook page. We're on Instagram, Drama Teachers. Just don't get too into the weeds. I used to love making mixtapes. So I know it's like very simple technology, but that's like as far as I go. Like you would, like back then, like you had your tape, you'd be like the top 5. Yeah. And I always would know, like, because the number one song would be like number one song for like 2 weeks. So I was like, I gotta get this. And like you'd wait till right when they like the DJ would stop talking and then you hit record. And that was like when you got it perfect, and then you had like 12, 14 songs, whatever, and then you could just listen to that. That was like the greatest feeling.
Oh man.
Of all time.
Taking me back, man. Yeah, that's a good.
So remember, it was the top 5 at 5.
Yeah.
In Richmond. It was amazing. I think the DJ, he's still on.
He's still on there?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's amazing. All right. So I wanted to ask you, and you can take either one of these or both of these. What is your least favorite part about where you live currently, and your favorite? Because I know it's been a move, and this is kind of it's a much different like area than where you came from, for sure. So you could just say terrible, or you could just say whatever you want.
They're kind of wrapped up in one. I think my first answer might be is that there's the lack of public transportation, which is hard to get used to, only because sometimes if you find yourself without your car, or maybe you don't want to take a car.
Right.
I'm used to like buses and stuff being there like every 15 minutes. They go over all the streets, so that was really tough to get used to, because I was like, well, I'll just teach the kids. The boys are getting older.
Right.
See, they got to learn how to get themselves around if they're not good. So,
right.
So lack of public transportation was a little difficult. But the flip side of that is that I did notice that there are no sidewalks sometimes, and at first I was like, that's why are there no sidewalks? But I was like, well, I appreciate the fact that they don't use up unnecessary parts of the environment. So they only use what they need. So there aren't sidewalks necessarily all over the place because they keep the landscaping, or they keep all of the stuff intact, instead of in California, you put up a building they knock down the whole block.
Right,
Even if they're only going to use like 1,000 square feet, they'll take out the whole block and concrete everything. So it's really nice to just see there's the green and appreciate and there is an appreciation for it.
Yeah, I never really realized how odd our city was until I moved to DC.
Or
because it's not small at all.
No,
but it's certainly not big.
Yeah,
and it's not as diverse as you would like, or at least I would like.
Yeah,
most people would like. You hope. So it's just kind of this weird. Like there's different areas of the town where like the people in that area just go in that area.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's why, I mean, they've started public transit a little bit. Like you said, it's not
great. Yeah, because you're right. Because I mean, like, you know, I might be 15 or 20 minutes out from downtown, but like getting there without my car is going to be like stressful and difficult. But downtown, there's buses and everything popping all over the place.
And like we live in the same area, so I would have to drive into, no one knows where we're going. So I would have to drive into Willow park my car, and then catch the bus.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
They'd probably tell you. I don't know if they would or not, but it doesn't make sense to drive and then take the bus. All right, so I feel like I was talking too much at the beginning, but I've caught myself. I feel like we're flowing now. So now we're on the feel-good story of the week.
So this student, one of our younger students, came to us. Let's see, I'm gonna say about 3.5 months or so. Maybe right before all of the quarantine stuff happened in March. And like I said, younger student, which, you know, that comes with its handfuls of difficulties, you know, because they're not always aware or able to like do a lot of the conversation aspects that we use for our problem-based solution. So that makes it a little difficult. But he was also very angry and very upset. And I think there was a lot of times where he didn't really understand where that was coming from for him. You know, if for us, it was of course connected to all of his adverse, you know, situations and things he had been through, but he wasn't sure of how to process. So it just came out as rage. So he would go from being, you know, somewhat very pleasant, and at the drop of a dime could be throwing a chair or throwing a book or something that's on his desk.
Verbal assaults.
Yeah, I mean, he would just tear into you when he first got here.
And like you said, it would come out of nowhere. I'd be like, Caleb, why don't you do your work? And he'd be like, why don't you stop being a bitch? And I'm like, what just happened? Right. I was just asking. Right. Like, if you have a valid reason, I'm not angry. But yeah, I just remember how, I mean, he still is a little bit, but so his responses they hurt.
Yeah, like I said, he would not hold back, and it was like I said, what might feel like out of nowhere, and he was get very stuck in whatever he might be. So once he got to the point where he was upset, it would be hard for him to dial that back and return to base. So like he would leave class, and he would just want to wander or walk around class, and trying to get him to understand how to explain to us what he was going through, first of all, so that we could work on solutions to get him back. Right. And we were spending, you know, upwards of like class periods out of class for him, you know, 1 or 2 class periods a day, where he would just leave and check out.
Yeah, and his self-confidence was so low. Like, very smart kid, above grade level in most subjects, but would always, I'm an idiot, I can't do it. And my story with him is, we're outside the playground, it was like the end of the day, I told him I'd take him out for the last 10 minutes before we go to the cottage. He took a football and tried to throw it onto the overpass. And I was like, it hit the fence, thank God, and bounced back. So I didn't push him, but I took it from him because I didn't want someone to die. Right. If he hits a car coming down a ramp, right?
Right.
And when he would get stuck, like he was stuck I had to follow him around for like an hour after school was supposed to be over. He was throwing sticks, throwing rocks at me. Yeah. He did like a perfect machete style stick. It was like a 20-yard throw, and it hit me in the hand. I don't know why I didn't move. I think he didn't have a chance. And he was like, yeah, that's right. But eventually, I mean, now I have a great relationship.
I would say, yeah, you guys are like...
I mean, it's still not perfect. He still calls me the B word all the time.
But it's going to be hard.
This is an 11-year-old. But, you know, I've got him going to put his shoes on, and he's funny. He's hilarious.
He's a funny kid. Because what I was going to say is that watching him with peers now, I think that was a struggle for him too when he first got here, trying to navigate. And, you know, of course, it's scary when you first get here for all the kids, you know, because they're not sure how to navigate the situations or the new environment. But it was really difficult for him making peers and finding his group. Right. So he struggled. I think he changed homerooms twice, trying to find what group worked best for him. And now, like his cottage that he's in now, and the group that he's in now, I think he's found some good friends in that, some good peers in that group, and has worked out really well. So to watch him with the peers now, from where he was just like constantly going after people, it's been really rewarding to watch.
Yeah, and like I said, when he got here, he was 11.
Yeah.
So I mean, just
I can only imagine.
Like I remember after, you go to like overnight basketball camp. I used to get to, and like after the third day, I'm like, I miss my mom. Like you wouldn't say that. You're like, you tell your mom it was the greatest time ever.
Right.
But I mean, and then I imagine like after a couple of weeks here, he was just freaking out.
Yeah.
But I think he's really similar to our student we were talking about earlier, who just left. Like, because in her email, it was like she said that she now knows she deserves love, and that kid, I think he now knows he deserves friendship.
Yeah.
Like he didn't think like he was worthy of having friends, and now like you said, he's got this awesome little weird group of Magic card playing, anime watching, little nerds. They're awesome. They're the great. I love them.
Yeah,
at times.
Yeah, it's a great group to walk into, especially when he's involved.
And I meant nerd in a positive.
Yeah,
not like a bully.
Nerd. Those terms are thrown around very lightly and loosely in all of the best ways around here. So
I don't have like a straw in the front, like spitting spitballs at him from my desk as they're playing cards. It's a weird group because I love all of them, but together sometimes oh my god, they drive me crazy.
So terms of endearment, weird, nerd. Those are we're all weird and nerd in the best of ways.
100%. Yeah. I wish I was more of a nerd, and then I can figure out how to use a phone.
Right. But I mean, I guess to finish up with him, from what it sounds like he's got some discharge plans that are swirling around and in the mix for him. So he should be leaving us sometime soon, and can't wait for that to happen for him.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's a great kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we did it.
We did it.
We'll see. We'll see if we're up on YouTube. I really
we'll see. You guys will see.
The phone stayed there. Yeah, I was a little surprised.
But I guess if you have anything else, unless you have anything else, Patrick.
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, as always, I've enjoyed our conversation. Enjoyed you guys listening. We look forward to you guys listening next week.